So we're going to be chanting the long form of the Sri Guru Stotram and then doing a meditation with some Shiva mantra. But before we get started on that, I wanted to continue the brief teachings I've been giving on the Jaya Kula Mandala precepts. Precepts are functional guidelines for living in such a way that will support you doing sadhana and waking up. So these are not ethical or moral precepts. They are precepts meant to save energy, promote health, promote relaxation, and to lessen your level of entanglement in new karmically impacted situations. So we come in with a full complement of karma, and if we happen to encounter teachings or have some other form of grace, then we want to not incur more entanglements. And of course, we're not going to be able to totally avoid new karmas or reinforcing old ones, but the idea is that we're lessening the degree to which our body, energy, and mind is tied up in repetitive patterns of consciousness and energy that are going nowhere, that have us living like a hamster in a cage, just going around and around and around. So we want to try to relax those patterns and regain that freedom to use our energy, our body, and our mind in a way that supports our waking up. So we're on the third precept, and the third precept is one of the precepts that is most functional in terms of our health, and that is be honest in all circumstances. First of all, there can be no deepness in your practice if you don't have honesty with yourself first and foremost. So we cannot practice, we cannot wake up if we are bound up in fantasy about ourselves as practitioners, about ourselves as human beings. Whatever kind of fantasy we're living in, we have to get to a really foundational level of honesty in order to get the most fruit from our practice. And then, of course, dishonesty interferes with our connection to our sense of value. Because even if we're getting away with dishonesty, which of course we often do, even the most foundational form of dishonesty, which is dishonesty in our self-presentation, dishonesty in our story about ourselves, dishonesty in our presentation of our emotions. These forms of dishonesty are completely socially acceptable, but they undermine our feeling of integrity. They undermine and interrupt our connection to our experience of our own goodness. And this is a loss that we really should not bear. It's not worth whatever you're gaining socially or economically through your dishonesty. It's not worth it, because you are somewhere in you, your body, energy, and mind knows what you're doing, and it's undermining and interrupting your access to your eternal value, to that experience, which is the only refuge. You can't really take refuge in dishonesty. And then honesty is the number one medicine for conserving and repairing what is called ojas in Ayurveda. So ojas is on one level related to our immune system, but on another level it's related to our integrity. It's related to our ability to kind of roll with all the ups and downs of life with some grace and equanimity. And in its healthiest form, ojas is our bridge to universal love, to the experience of universal love and compassion. So if dishonesty is going to impair our ojas and cut us off from that experience of universal love and compassion, it's just not worth the cost.